You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin.
What is going down? What is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're into anime, video games, and nerd culture, you come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is podcast episode number 353, and I have some things I want to discuss. Got a lot of updates, man, for you guys today. It's going to be a different kind of show, only because I'm recording on a Saturday and I typically record on Sunday, but everybody's asleep right now. It's a perfect storm. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm trying to get this done. And so I can have my Sunday off, and hopefully I can play some fucking Helldivers, and I'll get to that in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. But yes, I have some updates to discuss with you guys. I want to talk some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth updates. I want to talk some Helldivers updates. I also want to talk about some Dragon's Dogma as well. And I have anime watch list I wanted to, go over briefly. And then I have some Microsoft news. Yes, the future of Microsoft, the future of Xbox, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to discuss that as well. So I guess I want to start off talking about my anime watch list, which I typically start out with the beginning of the shows now. I used to be kind of towards the end, but I kind of like to do that in the beginning. But basically, it's very simple. I have another one I added to the list, though, and it goes by the name of, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, I may butcher it, Frieren, I think that's how you pronounce it, Beyond Journey's End, okay? And this one is about a mage who is, I want to say, what do you call the race with the larger ears, okay? But she's that race type, and they in this anime typically live hundreds of years, okay? They live very long lives or whatever. So, and this has been recommended to me, through a few different people. Some of you guys recommended it, and then I have some close friends who actually recommended it too. One day, the reason why I started watching it is because 2 friends in the same day recommended this anime. So I said, wow, what the fuck is going on with this anime? Let me check it out. So it's about a mage who the story starts out her and her crew just completing a major quest. The quest took literally 10 years to complete, but they finally got it done, and they basically, quote unquote, beat the most evil being in that realm, or in that anime, whatever you want to call him, right? Some sort of demon king or some sort of evil mastermind, right? But it took them 10 years to journey together and do things together to beat this person. After that, you find out what the story is really about. She's really reserved, standoffish at first, and doesn't quite understand humans, okay? Because that's who she was basically teaming up with, was a bunch of humans who age fast compared to her. And there's this thing that happens every 50 years where these comets, fly over the sky, and After their mission, they all saw that, and that's when everybody was still young and strong and all of that. And she said, we'll meet back again in 50 years. And they do. And when she comes back, they're still all alive, but they're very old. Okay. It's almost like a reset button, because one of the people start dying off in her crew. She starts having feelings like crying and feelings of sadness, and she didn't understand why she was feeling like this. And she wanted to know more. She wanted to know more about the humans and the human psyche and what these emotions meant and why she was feeling these emotions and so on and so forth. So one of the people in her crew, who was really old and close to dying, asked her for a favor. Okay, he had orphaned this little girl who was pretty good at being a mage, and she had a lot of promise. And he asked her he kind of tricked her into taking her under her wing and, taking her with her when she left. Okay. Cause she was going to go on another journey. Okay. Go on another long quest and just trying to do shit. And I'll leave it there. I'm not even finished with it anyway, but this is like the first 4 episodes or so. It's got a lot of different things. I'm told it has every element of anime for the most part in here. Okay. Which I'm going to find out for myself because I haven't watched it all. But I heard it's got slice of life, which I have witnessed that in the first 4 episodes. I think I've watched like 5 of them. And then I heard there's a lot of dope action and choreography and stuff like that in here. And maybe even a douse of love within the story as well. So looking forward to watching this and finding out what everybody's talking about. And that's another one I added to my list. So I've been watching that. And then I finally sat down and, finished episode 7 of Solo Leveling. And I have to say, this anime is just so good. It gets better and better with each episode. And I just love the anime tropes compared to the RPG games. Like, it's just so good. It makes you remember, oh man, I remember this in this RPG game or that in that RPG game. And it's a perfect blend. Now we've seen this before. This anime, this type of anime kind of happens often. There's a lot of different ones. Sword Art Online is one I could think of and let you guys understand. Yeah, that's another good one that I really like. But this here is definitely something special. And I kind of see why people are talking about it and why it's being advertised. Like as soon as you turn on fucking Crunchyroll, it's there, right? It's being advertised. So that's cool. And that's what I've been watching. Finally, I literally finished that right before recording this episode. So I was sitting in the car and I was watching it But anyway, that is my anime watch list. Now let's move on down and let's talk a little bit about some Helldivers too, because this game here has it's been all over the place, man. And the controversy, the news, the unexpected, the unexpected joy, I guess you can call it that, or even success, you can say, because this game was definitely followed by a lot of people, but it was never intended. I don't think, personally, I didn't think it was going to be this big. Okay. I didn't think I was going to love a game like this, this much. And I know it's early in the year, it's 2024 and it's only February, but I have to say this. So far, this has been the surprise game. I don't know if there'll probably be a couple more surprise games throughout the year, of course. If you play enough of them, you will find 1 or 2. But this one for me right now is the surprise game of 2024. Like I said, I know it's early, but it's a game that I knew I wanted to play, but I did not think I was going to be into it as much as I have been, if that makes sense. And I'm thinking about it all the time. I love playing it. I love it being in the world. And like I said, if you believe the news and you believe what people are saying, then this is just the tip of the iceberg, because there's so much more that these devs have in store for us. So anytime you get a look at a game like this and you're one of the first people to play it, you're going to get some ups, but you're also going to get some fucking downs. And some of the downs I want to talk about is what I've been experiencing, throughout the journey, right? When it's good and when nothing's wrong and everything's going smooth, I'm talking about servers, I'm talking about glitches and stuff like that. It's breathtakingly beautiful. It's a joy to fucking play. I have so much content on the way for this game, you guys just don't know. And just check out the YouTube channel at Random Gameplay Pimpin. There's stuff coming, lots of Helldiver shit coming. I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time. So if you want to take a trip with me out here in these Helldiver streets, definitely check those videos out, because there's going to be plenty of butter on the battlefield. Anyway, this game has ups, it has downs. And recently I tried to play as early or as late as Friday night, and I couldn't play because, well, you technically could, but I wasn't getting credit for my missions, right? It was doing that again, or it was, shall I say, lagging. So I did a mission. I didn't get any rewards for it. So I turned off the game and I, restarted it. And then when I got back to my ship, all of my rewards were there. Okay. It kept doing that. All right. And it was just starting to glitch again. And I was like, wow, here we go again. And then this morning, or just today period, I planned on getting on. Like, all of my kids were gone. She was gone to the grocery store, which she does on typically every Saturday, and they're gone for hours. They were gone all fucking day. So I had a long day in bed, laid in there, watched some anime, chilled, had peace, quiet, got up, came in here, and I was going to get some matches in, see if I can play with some of my friends, get together. And guess what? I was stuck sitting in the queue. All right. And it basically said, look, the servers are at capacity. Please try again later. All right. And it's one of those things where it's basically you're a victim of your own success, because you thought the game was going to do well, but it ended up exceeding your expectations by enormous amounts. So much so that you have to hire new team members. Currently, right now, as I'm speaking into this microphone, they're looking for new people to add to the team and grow the studio so that they can give us more content. They even said that they're going to fast forward or fast track the stuff they had planned for us, because they didn't expect this to be so big and so many people to be on there. I think the number I heard, the most people concurrently on the server at one time was like 230,000. That's crazy, right? So everybody was like, well, Power World had like over 1 million. And the difference between Power World and Helldivers 2 is Power World also has an offline mode, something I also want to talk about with this game. I seriously think these guys should consider giving us an offline mode for this game. Okay, because if we're going to have issues like this, it's probably pretty smart to have people who pay their hard-earned money for it, especially on the weekends when they're waiting to play. Which, if you go on Twitter, you're going to find that there's a lot of people that are pissed about this, even me myself, because when you have downtime and you have time like I had, it was peace and quiet, and I could play this without my kids in the background and running around and doing all these things, right? And my daughter running up to me, asking me for juice every, 30 minutes, things like that. We all have our lives and we all try to set aside certain things for what we love to do. And video games is one of those things. And if you're a gamer, you know what I'm talking about. I do not have to break it down for you. These are some of the tropes, especially when you're an adult and you're older and you have kids and families and shit. You know how it works, right? So you try to doctor up time for yourself to kind of enjoy it by yourself at times where you can just get the full enjoyment out of it. And people take off work, people do these things, and just to be told, hey, you can't even play now. So you pay for the game, it's online only, and you can't play because the servers are at capacity, or the servers are down for maintenance, or there's glitches. Please come back. Please, we appreciate your patience. We're working on it diligently. You get all these fucking messages. Nobody wants to hear that shit, if I'm just being honest. Okay. Yeah. You have the people that say, hey guys, we understand they're trying to fix it and all that. Yeah, that's cool and everything. But if I give you money to play a game, I want to play the game when I feel like playing it. And that's the whole thing. There's a lot of people that are going to be very upset because their whole Sunday or their whole Saturday was fucking wiped because they couldn't get in. Okay, they're just sitting there staring at a screen, waiting for a queue to drop. And on the weekends, that's going to be hard to do during the day. Now, I haven't tried to get on yet, and it's around just after 1 o'clock. So when I get off of here, I'm definitely going to try to get back into servers. I should have a little bit more success because a lot of people, even though it is the weekend, they're out, they're doing things, or they're calling it an early night. So I should be able to get in. I will definitely keep you guys posted next week and let you know. And that's why I like to play at night too, in the wee hours of the night, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, because I know that I can guaranteed get into the game. Right. But seriously, guys, these guys are going to have to get together and do some sort of offline mode. I think they are. I think it's only right. And I'm excited in a sense because I'm going to hope and pray that we do get something like that, because they didn't expect the game to be this big, but now they're saying that they're going to hire extra people to do extra content. And we knew this game was going to have longevity. We knew that they were going to be updating it and giving us new things later on down the line, like new guns, new planets, new enemy types and stuff like that, which I'm extremely excited for. But at the same time, I would like an offline mode so that if something like this happens, we could still grind, we could still get our money, get our stuff, and get our stats up and everything like that offline when these type of things happen, instead of being at the mercy of the devs and their servers, because that's just what it is. Now, I do understand the other side of the coin as well. I know with server space that requires more money, that requires all of these things. And then they're looking at it as, okay, yes, the game is super hot right now, but eventually it's going to, stabilize and go down after maybe a month or two. And after that, we'll be paying for all this extra space for no reason. And that's kind of like what they were saying as well. But still, that's not the fault of the consumer. All right. If the game is out and it's available to play and people paid for it, they should be able to have access to it. And that's my issue with digital only games, because you don't really own shit. You're at the mercy of them. Okay. And your internet, what if your internet is another culprit? Okay. Your internet could be fucked up and then you can't play. So there's a lot of things you have to keep your head on a swivel when dealing with these type of games. Which if you had an offline mode, you could say, fuck it. All right, my internet's down or whatever, but I still want to play some Helldivers. I still want to be in this world and run around and gun and blow up bugs and shit and whatever. Right. And you can do it offline. That's all I'm saying. And hopefully, like I said, because the game is really successful right now, even amidst all this bullshit, that we can get us a offline mode. I'm really hoping we can get that done eventually. Okay. Maybe with a new season or something like that. I don't know, but I'm praying for it, because this shit is not cool. When you want to play something that you've paid for and you can't do it. But I am excited for the good stuff to come. I am excited that there's so many people playing it, and that it brought a lot of my old friends back together who I haven't seen in a long time, because everybody plays their own stuff. And then, this is a online game where it brings people together, and it's brought the old clique together. So I've had so many great sessions with some of my other friends as well. And even being able to talk and meet new people in these sessions and stuff. And that's what it's all about. So I definitely appreciate the game, but they have fucking work to do. So with that being said, let's move on down the line. And I want to give you guys another update, but this is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, if you guys don't know, the demo is out now currently, and right now you're able to kind of go through and play as Cloud, or you're able to play as Sephiroth right now in this. And on the 21st, which is only a few days away, we're going to get another update to that DLC. So this is something I've never heard of. I've never experienced this, where they give you a demo and then they give you another update before the game comes out, and you get more added to that said demo. So this demo is going to be adding some stuff, which is they're going to be cleaning up some things, because right now what's being talked about is the fact that if you play quality mode, you're good. But if you try to play a different mode, a performance mode, then it really subtracts from the graphics on the game as you're playing. So they were saying that took a hit, and the devs went back in there and they cleaned all that up, and they said that, it's going to be a lot better when the real game comes out. And actually, we're going to get some sort of update before the game drops on the demo, so we can kind of take a look at it that way, if that makes sense or helps. And they're also going to give us a portion of the open world with this demo. I think the portion of the world, a part of the map is, I want to say Junon. Yeah, Junon. It's an open world area. We're not going to get the whole, area. We're going to get a portion of it, just to get a taste of what the open world kind of feels like in this game, right? So, it's going to be huge. It's 2 discs. So, that's a lot of lot of real estate there. Okay. So yeah, we're going to get that. And then I think we're going to get some other playable characters in the group. So looking forward to that demo on February 21st. You guys definitely check that out. And I'll definitely be talking about that a little bit next week with you guys, just a taste. I said before last week that I'm probably not going to be picking this up day one, because there's just so many things that I'm playing right now, and I haven't even got to play yet. And I'm playing a lot of Helldivers. I'll probably be doing a lot of that. And then I'm still, doing stuff with Grand Blue Fantasy out there. And then there's also Power World that my son wants to play a lot of now. That's his favorite game right now, is what he told me. And then also I still want to play Persona. I still haven't cracked open Persona Reload yet. And that game has done very well for itself so far. I think it's done over 1 million. Yeah, that Grand Blue Fantasy has also done over 1 million in the first week. So these games are doing their thing, man. These are RPGs and they're doing their fucking thing. So yeah, RPGs are not dead by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, that's good news to hear. But yeah, that's your information on the Final Fantasy stuff, guys. I want to move down and talk a little bit about the next game that pretty much I'm just anticipating so much, and it's Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm a huge Dragon's Dogma fan. I mean, Capcom, I love Capcom, and you know, they're synonymous with Street Fighter, of course, but they're not known for RPGs. And when they did Dragon's Dogma, they made sure that it was like no other game. Like, it has a recipe that nobody else has duplicated up until this point. And they're doing it again. Okay. I have Dragon's Dogma on the Switch. I have it on the PS4. Now, apparently, you know, the flaws in the first game, was that, or the talk around the campfire is that they weren't able to do everything they had planned for the game. Okay. They ran out of money and the production team had to cut corners with that game. And even after all of that, it's still a certified classic. One of my top 10 RPGs of all time. But, now, listening to the director and who did the first game, who's on this one as well, he's basically said that this game has everything that he ever wanted to be. So he's basically able to make his personal game, everything he wanted from the first Dragon's Dogma, he was able to do it here. And he was given free reign. He was not rushed. He was able to take his time, and he was actually able to explore a brand new engine for that. Okay. The Resident Evil engine, which is a dope engine. So looking forward to seeing that engine, you know, in action in a completely different genre of a game. That's going to be crazy. And so far, so good, man. We get all these short clips we have on the internet now on YouTube where we get different vocations and, you know, we get light shit on different classes, and it's going to be amazing. I just cannot wait. There are some caveats, if you guys aren't familiar with, Dragon's Dogma in general, even the first game, that are moving forward with Dragon's Dogma 2, and that is no multiple save files. Okay. That is a thing that a lot of people don't appreciate, especially like new players who aren't familiar with how the first Dragon's Dogma kind of worked. And that's how it did, is simply because the way that they have their pawn system, it makes it hard to leave open other saves, if that makes sense. That's the layman's way of explaining it. It can definitely get a lot deeper, but I don't have the mental capacity right now to kind of break all that down. But if you want to know more, you can definitely look into it. And I'm sure if you dig deep enough, you'll get those answers that you are seeking. But that is the gist of it. Even with those shortcomings with the game, it's still going to be a banger, and it's not going to prevent me at all, not one iota, from picking this shit up. And another thing that I heard that was pretty cool is the fact that there's going to be the game is going to be virtually uncapped. Okay. It's going to have an uncapped frame rate. Now, what does that mean? Most games, you know, especially last generation, all the way up till now, I've been around, 30 frames per second. All right. And, as of late, some games have been coming out at 60 frames per second. Now, if you compare it side by side, 60 frames per second and 30 frames, the 60 frames per second tends to move a little smoother. Some games you can tell more than others, and it's really just an eye thing. If you play a game at 30 frames per second, but you're used to playing 60, you're going to notice it at first. You're going to notice some differences, and you'll be able to say, oh, this is 30 frames, right? But after playing that 30 frames per second game for maybe an hour, your eyes adjust to it, and then it doesn't feel like it's that different anymore. Okay. It feels like you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, if that makes any sense to you guys, cool. To give you another scenario, when we watch movies on TV, movies run on TV at 24 frames per second. That's the standard in film. So that's why when a lot of people say, I can't tell the difference, it looks fine to me at 30 frames per second, because it typically is. It's supposed to run like that. You know what I mean? It's just different when you're dealing with other media sometimes, if that makes any sense. But uncapped basically means that it's not going to be at 30. It's just going to be uncapped. They're going to let it run. It's going to, in certain areas of the game, it may slow down a little bit, and some it won't. So when they say uncapped, I'm assuming, and that's just me assuming, they're shooting for around 60 maybe. And it may go with, it may go in between 45 and 60. It may float around there somewhere. I don't know the specifics, guys. I'm just kind of guessing here, but uncapped means that in a way that's a good thing. That doesn't mean that you're going to be at 30. So we'll see how this goes. And, with future updates and things of that nature, who knows what else will come. That is one good thing to having updates for games. I would say that you could do a lot of good things for a game post launch, and that is it, but there's a lot of bad things that can be done too, because we have the whole, hey, this has been nerfed or this has been buffed type of thing. And that's when you were dealing with, a lot of times when you're dealing with PvP type of stuff, but it happens in every kind of game, in every scenario. I won't be surprised if Helldivers 2 gets certain buffs and debuffs to certain things in this world as well eventually, because right now there's a glitch, matter of fact, that I can think of with the armor sets. Okay, so there's heavy armor, there's medium armor, and there's light armor. I use light armor because I like to move faster and all of that, but if you use heavy armor, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't really help you. You take the same amount of damage that you would if you were wearing light armor. And that's something they're, I guess, working on to try to fix, because you should be able to take way more damage with that fucking heavy armor. And right now it's not doing that. So most people in that game, are dealing with light armor. So that's just one kind of explanation there. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with right now with Dragon's Dogma. And that's good news. To me, to be honest with you, it's going to be good news all around if I can play another Dragon's Dogma game. So like I said, the characters are going to be a lot deeper. Customization is going to look deeper. Definitely the vocations and things that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see what they come up with and what you're able to do here. It's going to be fucking amazing. I hope we get DLC. I'm looking forward to all of it. I'm a huge Dragon's Dogma fan. So yes, I'm looking forward to this one, guys. And it's going to be a banger. I cannot wait. There's definitely going to be content from me personally on the YouTube channel. Definitely, again, I'm shameless plugging. Check out Random Gameplay Pimpin' on YouTube, guys. If you haven't subscribed, I know a lot of you guys are listening to this show. You listen for the most part every week. You need to go ahead and subscribe to your boy's channel. I mean, come on, support me. Show your love, baby. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I would hate to pull out warm butter on all of you who haven't subscribed. Anyway, let's move along and let's talk about Xbox. Xbox is doing some things, okay? They're not afraid, and they're not shaking their boots, and they're not worried about the console wars and all of that. They already basically said, look, we're not going to win, okay? It's too far gone. We're not going to outsell Sony. We're not going to definitely outsell Nintendo. It's a wrap. But that's not what we're trying to do, okay? What Microsoft is doing is just being rich, okay? And I'll explain that to you guys, because right now, the president, Sarah Bond, she's the president of Xbox. She basically said that they are focused on delivering they are focused on delivering the largest technical leap you have ever seen in a console generation. So they're basically saying that they have another fucking piece of hardware that is going to come out, all right? And when it does release, it's going to be leaps and bounds beyond what the Xbox Series X is capable of doing. Some sort of super game console. That's the only thing that pops up in my mind when I think of what she was saying. Personally, that's saying a lot, and I don't doubt her for a minute, simply because they have the money to do so. Now, does that mean they're going to come with the games to help it? No, it doesn't mean that. But what Microsoft is capable of doing for sure is making some goddamn good hardware. Okay. And I believe that they will accomplish that and just go third party. Now, my question is, man, it could go so many different ways. Like if they're going just third party only, that is going to not make much sense if you have a super powerful machine. But I guess it kind of would, because it would kind of tempt gamers to say, well, if this game is coming off for everything, I want the best version, and I'll get the super version over here. It's almost like buying the PC version, but for a console, and that console would be this new system that they're talking about, releasing eventually. So I don't know. I will say this also, that I know Xbox is working on a couple of mid-gen systems. Okay. And what I mean by that is kind of like, think of it like the PlayStation Pro, basically an Xbox version of Sony's PlayStation Pro, right? So basically, I think the name of the Xbox Series X version is codename Brooklyn. Yes, codename Brooklyn. And this is going to have no disk drive. Okay. And this is also going to be 2 terabytes. So you're going to have 2 terabytes of space there, which will probably be, 1.7 or something like that, after the operating system and stuff, but still so much more of space there. And then it's also going to be running 16 gigabytes of RAM. Okay. So that's pretty decent. I know there's a lot of computers out there doing 32s, and more, all that, but still for a game system that is designed to, just play games, that's more than enough to get the job fucking done. All right. And then the Xbox Series S version is codenamed Elwood, and that's going to be 10 gigabytes of RAM. That's going to have 10 gigabytes of RAM underneath the hood. So, they're working on those things, and they're going to sell some. I'm sure they're going to have some decent prices for them. And then they also have another system that I just mentioned earlier that is going to be releasing. And they said that they're going to give us more information on that this holiday season. So they'll probably announce it this holiday season. And then we'll probably get a release for that 2025 sometime. 2025, probably late holiday season 2025, if I'm just guessing, because I think these other systems are going to be coming out sometime this year. And then they'll announce that at the end of the year. And then at the end of next year, we will get whatever that system is, and we'll find out what's going on with that. So they have a lot of shit that they're fucking releasing here. And some people will say, well, why are they releasing these shits? Because people are just going to buy Sony and Nintendo products. Why are they releasing these things? Because they can. They have the money to do it. And when you have money like that, you can afford to take chances and keep taking chances. And you still have that rabid Xbox community, that rabid Xbox fan out there. There's a lot of those out there. My son is one of them. And they're going to play these. All right. And they're going to buy them, and they're going to support them. And that's fine. And that's cool. And I like to see that. Everybody can't be a Sony pony. Everybody can't be a Nintendo fanboy or girl. Everyone has fans, right? And that's just what it is. And it's PC players as well. The PC master races, what they call themselves or whatever. That's fine. You can be fans of many different things as well. But everyone has their favorites, and there's nothing wrong with somebody liking Xbox more than any other console. That's just their preference. And who are we to justify that, right? Who are we to challenge that? So it is what it is. But I like to see this. I'm very curious on what Microsoft is going to show us, and the power, and really, to be honest with you, the games, because they did hire a shit ton of studios. All right. So I'm guessing if they're going third party only, what are all these studios going to be doing under their hood? They hired all these people. What's next? What plans do they have for these people? Okay. That's my thing. If they're going third party, are those teams that they have going to be making games for everyone? Because if it's third party, then I'm sure Sony will have a version and they will have a version. Only thing I can think of is Microsoft having the best version of that. And maybe that's why they're doing this and making this other console. Yeah, you can play it on Sony and you can play it on Nintendo or whatever. But guess what? If you want the definitive version of that, then come to Microsoft to play it. That's the only thing I can think of. And then when you want exclusives, of course, you'll go to Sony and Nintendo, because they're going to continue to do those, right? So that's the only thing I can think of. That's it. Now, with the PC game stuff, that's another thing. I'll just wait and see. I'm not a PC guy, so, I don't touch a lot on PC. I don't talk a lot about PC here. I'm just a console kind of player, and that's kind of the stuff I cover. But, we'll see, man. It's just the future is wild. That's all I can say. There's just so many things that people are doing, making, and it's fun to be a part of it. It's fun to tinker and play with some of this shit, man. And I'm just happy to be a gamer and experience it all. And I'm one of those guys that if it's a console that's out there worthy of purchasing, I'll probably end up doing it at one point or another. I might not be that guy out there day one in those long lines waiting for a console that has no games. But once those games start to come out, oh yes, believe me, I will most likely be picking up that console. So the Nintendo Switch 2, of course, will eventually become a part of the library. This Microsoft thing, if it's what I think it's going to be, it will definitely eventually be somewhere here sitting around somewhere when I can find room to place it there, and so on and so forth. Okay. Sony comes out with a new system. Hey, you already know it's going down. So it is what it is. If a new system comes out and we get hit with a new company with a new system, who knows? Sega could do something again. I have no clue, guys, but that's the beauty of being a gamer. I just want to play the good shit. I don't care what it's on. I'll buy whatever that game is on if I can play this game and I want to play it. It's that simple. But anyway, that's going to do it for the show. This was a short one, I know, but it's still a show nonetheless. And I have some Helldivers to try to play. I'm going to try to do it. And we'll see. I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you posted. I want to thank everybody, though, for coming out, downloading, listening, streaming the show. And I want you guys to show your love and support. And go check out Random Gameplay Pimpin'. I've said it. I think this is the 4th or 5th time. But go check out Random Gameplay Pimpin' on YouTube and subscribe if you have not. Also, check me out on Instagram at Studio MacGyver. And you can also check me out on TikTok at Random Gameplay Pimpin' as well, guys. So yeah, I guess that's going to do it for me. I want to tell you guys I appreciate you so much, all my listeners, everybody who's found and stumbled upon this podcast on accident and just couldn't stop listening. Hey, I appreciate your ears. I hope you come back. We do this every Monday, same bad time, same bad channel. So come out, download me, listen, let's take a trip, take me on your jog. Take me, listen to me before you go to bed. Listen to me on your way to work, whenever you fucking see fit. I appreciate it and I love you guys for that. So thank you very much. And I'm out. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.